With the knowledge we have, first calculation we will perform on the open shell molecules on nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is one of my favorite molecule. It has implications in atmospheric chemistry, in petrol combustion. It has implication in biology. So I really like this molecule. So what we will do is that we will first draw the structure and run a calculation, and then first check the eigenfunction of the S square operator. And then maybe we will plot the spin density surfaces and we will visualize it. So let us close the Avogadro to avoid any problem. So to draw nitric oxide is straightforward. I will first have a nitrogen. I don't need to adjust the hydrogen, and then I will add oxygen with it. I will put it here and click it. So once I am done with the geometry, I will just quickly optimize it, and now I can set up my calculation. So I go to the extension of Orca, generate Orca input. Remember, nitric oxide actually has a total 15 electrons, so it cannot be. So if I put the charge 0, this multiplicity cannot be 1. So the multiplicity has to be 2. It's a doublet, and of course it's not restricted. So what you should do is that you should remove the RHF. If you do not put anything, it will, or just put heterofoc, it will automatically take it unrestricted. Or you can explicitly write UHF also. Both way it works. So once you are done with it, I really don't want to visualize the molecular orbital as such. So what I will do is that I will now generate the input file. I will go here and will make a new directory called OpenShell. And I keep the input name as NO. Okay, now I click to OpenShell. I open my terminal here. Greater than NO dot out. I hope this job get finished quickly. Yes, it's done. Let us first open the output file. So its charge is 0 and the multiplicity is 2, 2s plus 1. So it does the guess and do the calculation. So once your calculation is done, you see the S square value. And if you see the expectation value of the S square operator, it actually shows quite a large deviation from the S square value. So this is one of the problem of NO. So if you try to do NO carefully, you will see that here it shows almost a deviation of 0.70. So that means unrestricted heterofoc is not a good way of describing the NO. Now, if I want to go through the orbital energy, first of all, here you will see two sets of orbital energy. First is spin up orbitals or alpha. It has total 15 electrons. So alpha electron contains 8 and the beta electron contains 7. So counting start from 0. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that means total 8 electron, and this is in your case is HOMO. and the second one, the beta contains 7 electrons, 0 to 6, and the 7th electron in this case is unoccupied, and it is a LUMO because you see this has a positive energy. Now, if I want to see the population and spin analysis, the sum of atomic charges is 0, spin population should be 1, and if you see the total spin population here, it should be printed on the top. Here you see in the spin population is actually it's more on the oxygen than on the nitrogen, as you can see in the case of Mulliken, and in the case of Loudon also you can see the spin is mostly localized on the oxygen and not on the nitrogen. And dipole moment and all other stuff. Now, to calculate the and visualize the spin density surfaces, what we need to use is called an utility called Orca plot, and the command is actually this NO file, among the files generated after the calculation. If I list them, you will see that there is something called GBW. So, GBW is a short form, this is a specialized to Orca, it's for guess, basis and wave function. So, these informations are stored in this file, and you can actually get many of the information out of the GBW file after your Orca calculation is done, including you can get the cube file for molecular orbital by using this GBW file. Now, to generate the spin density plot, you have to call this utility Orca.plot, Orca underscore plot, and then you have to write the name of the GBW file, in this case is no.gbw file. So, generally the name of the GBW file is same as the name of the input file. So, whatever is the name of your input file and will be the name of your GBW file. And minus I is a interactive option because you can do many things by using the command line here. If you are not very comfortable with the command line, don't get scared, it is straightforward. You just have to put 1, 2, 3, 4 numbers and it will be automatically able to do it. Be patient with it, try it few times, it will work out. Now, so once you do that, it gives you a number of options, enter type of plot, enter number of orbital to plot, operator of the orbital, grid interval, output file format, blah blah blah, all of these things are there. So, if I want to plot this, so the first thing I have to type the number 1 and it gives you all the possible option: molecular orbital, electron density, spin density, natural orbital, corresponding orbital, electron density, CIS transition density, CAS SCF orbital. Many of these options are there. We are going to use some of them in our next lectures. So, now I want to plot the spin density. So, spin density is number 3. The default density name will be no.scrf. If I just want the spin density, the only other thing I need to select is the output file format. The output file format is already in the cube, so I can skip it, but just to show you, select the output file format and it has different format: origin format, HPL format, GNU library format, ASCII data. I will use the Gaussian cube format, that is 7. It's there. Then I have to generate the plot. I will type 11. So, the plot is generated and you see that output file name is no spin density.cube, and once I am done I can exit the utility. So, once I have done can generated the utility, I will see a cube file here, and this cube file I am going to open with ChemCraft. So, in terms of surface, it is like an ISO surface. You can play of course with the contour value, and just to show you, first So, which is nitrogen and which is oxygen. And if I reduce the value a little bit, you can actually visualize the orbital. This is how the spin density will look like in your case. Now, if I do not have this kind of option, because my orbital has a lot of spin contamination, so the fix to it is to go to a restricted open shell system. How I will do that? I can just copy my input file and paste it here as, and I can rename it as ROHF, restricted open shell at fog. And the only thing which is different between an UHF and the ROHF is this keyword. So, I can save it and now I can run a calculation ORCA NO RHF, it has to be ROHF Generally, it's a good idea to give a name to the input file and the output file which has some meaning, so that once later if you want to really search it, it becomes easier to search it out. So, now my calculation is done. Let's see how my output looks like. So, it says operator 0 7 orbital 14 electron, operator 1 2 orbitals 1 electron. So, this is this 7 orbital 14 electron is all your paired electron. Each of the orbital it contains 2 electrons, so 7 orbital 14 electron, and then there is one unpaired electron after that. So, if you see the orbitals now, my first 7 orbitals 0 to 6 is doubly occupied, and then there are unpaired electrons 2 2 2 this 2. So, the 1 electron is distributed between these two orbitals 7 and 8, and that is what it means when I say that 2 orbitals in 1 electron. So, this is spread between these 2 electrons. Now, if I want to check the energies, the total energy here is 129.0224, and if I go to NO out, it is 129.06. So, this is 02 is ROHF and UHF is 06. Because the spatial part of alpha and beta electron can be different here because of the variational condition. So, the energy of the UHF is generally slightly lower than the ROHF configuration. So, this was a simple molecule NO, and we have seen that here there was a lot of spin contamination in the case of UHF. Of course, for ROHF this kind of problems are not there. You do not have any spin contamination because it is adapted to a particular spin, and there you can get a much better description of the electron spin in terms of, because they are the wave with the eigenfunction of the S square operator, but not always the case that the UHF is better than the ROHF. So, now let us go to another example which is slightly more complicated, and we'll see how the spin wave function looks like there and what is the why the spin contamination here. So let us take the example of iron oxide. So first let me close this one quickly. I go to the other option. Here is iron in beside cobalt, so I put here. The next thing I want to put is oxygen. Go to the extension, go quick optimization. Okay, now I can submit. So I want to have it a +1 charge and I want the multiplicity to be quadrant. So this is a particular case where I have 3 unpaired electron and it leads to a quadrant. So for the first time I can just save it. I do not need to have the molecular orbitals at this moment. So let us first see how the energy and the wave function looks like. I think I have kept the O as capital. This calculation can sometimes take a little bit of time. It's running.